Hello. We are now cleaning the data. We deleted these. We delete these two variables, and we erased invalid answers from these two variables. Next, we will look at variables one by one. The next variable we have to handle is sex. For the sex variable, we are going to excuse me. For the race variable, we have to remove negative variables. But by the way, in this case, there is no invalid answers. Everyone answered to this question. How can you tell that? So -1 has 0 observations. -2 has 0 observations. So all has 0 observations. So everyone has valid answers. So we may skip this variable. We don't need to clean it. And then sex. Here we are going to delete female observations because we are going to estimate the wage function, but to to make the population, to make the sample more homogeneous, we will focus more on men. So here there is no invalid answers. -1 is 0, -2 is 0, and 0, 0. But we just need to delete this variable equals to 2, right? So let's do that. We will drop if sample sex 1979 equals 2, right? I will make a note here. Unused variables deleted. Invalid answers deleted. Again, invalid answers deleted. Women deleted. Yes, right. And we will keep going like this. So the next variable is AFQT score. AFQT score has some missing values. So there is no refusal or don't know, but maybe someone did not take the test or non-interviews, valid skip. So we have to delete them anyhow because we don't have their test scores. So we cannot use them in our analysis. So drop if AFQT 1981 is smaller than 0. So AFQT score, invalid answers, deleted. The next variable is occupation. Also, occupation has some invalid answers. We will drop them. Drop if occupation all EMP. If this is smaller than 0, also drop. And then the next we have done up to this point, and this variable is income. Income variable, wages. There are also some variables. Delete them. By the way, by clicking this, you can just copy here. If the variable name is too complicated, this would be a smarter way to to do the work. And the next variable is region. Region has northeast, north central, southwest. There is no refusal or don't know, but there are some missing values, so we have to drop them. Region. And also, I think at this point, without reading the code book, you know what to do. So I will drop each of these values if they are negative. So for a more efficient way, we will copy the variable names and we'll make the code. So what we have done is we have deleted unused variables and we deleted invalid answers or missing values which we cannot use in the analysis. And also we dropped women from the data to replicate what the textbook does. And another thing we have to handle here is, like, remember, we are estimating the wage equation. So if a person, an individual does not work, we cannot analyze, there is no wage observed. So we have to drop if someone does not work. If the wage is 0 or the number of weeks worked is 0. So it's simple. Wage is here. If this wage is 0, then we delete 0 wage, right? And also, if someone does not work, we also delete 0 weeks worked. So those guys will be deleted. Later we are going to use weekly earnings, but these guys will have 0 earnings, so we need to delete them. By the way, I forgot to mention this. You have to use 2 equalities here because it is a conditioning statement. It is a conditional logical statement. So the program has to check if this variable equals to 0 or not. Then you have to. It's not a definition. It's not a definition, but it is to check if they are equal or not. So we use double equalities. And finally, the last step for data cleaning is generating, as I said, weekly earnings. So we will define generate weekly earnings. You may use any variable, like say simply you can say x or y. Weekly earnings. Whatever, variable name is weekly earnings. Now we use single equality because it is a definition. And in this definition, this is Q135 chunk 2002 is yearly earnings. It's a earnings, total like salary or wages in the last year. So it should be divided by number of weeks worked. So this is annual wage, and this is annual number of weeks this guy worked. So if you take their ratio, that is weekly earnings. So we will define weekly earnings. Annual wage divided by weeks worked. So then it becomes weekly earnings, right? And then finally, we are going to take the logarithm of this weekly earnings. That's our final variable we are going to use. So y, I'm going to define y as log of weekly earnings. Then it is log weekly earnings, right? Now, by the way, I have written down the code, but it is not executed. The new variables are not generated, and the observations I wanted to delete are not deleted yet. What you have to do here is you have to select them and execute. Then they will run like this. So So from this part and up to this part is what we just executed, what we just programmed and implemented. So then you may have some errors. You may have an error if you have a typo somewhere here. I was fortunate not to have any error, but if you have typos, you need to fix it, and you have to rerun that file. And but once it's fine, then I will save it at this time. Homework 4. So, and we are ready to estimate a regression. So we have all the variables we want. So in the next video, I will use this data set, and I will keep writing down on this program. So see you in the next video.